Yo, so we finally gonna get another versus, one that makes sense, because I told you Ti 50 just didn't make sense as far as like sound, culture, background, status level. It just wasn't going. X called out Jay Z, and Jay Z turned it down because Jay Z just is whatever. But it was X. It was X called out Jay, and he called out M. He was only gonna call out rappers from his era that had the same level of status and iconism that he had. So this makes sense. And I'm not talking about the imagery with the two dogs, the Great Dane and the Pit. I mean, that looks cool, but these guys have a lot more in common than you think, because they can both tap into that '90s nostalgia, and they both they got a lot of street anthems. I mean, Snoop for this era, Snoop. When I think of Snoop now, I don't even think about music. Snoop now is the dude who does records with Katy Perry and Charlie Wilson, and he's got a show with Martha Stewart, and you know what I mean. He's like the weed, the weed president of the United States. But back then, Snoop had a lot of moments, and moments like the Chronic album is a whole moment. Nothing But a G Thing, Deep Cover, which was his crossover joint that got a lot of play in New York. The Dog Pound shit when it was kicking over the buildings. The joints what he did with No Limit. Like Snoop got some gangster shit. Snoop ain't just no. I don't know what the fuck y'all thinking about. I mean, a lot of niggas are forgotten. I think if you got amnesia, if you watch this, you're gonna remember. DMX too. I think a lot of niggas look at DMX differently now, or they too young to remember, and they be like, they think he's some washed up crackhead. But I'm like, bro, DMX from like '97 to '03 was a monster. At one point, X was the biggest thing in rap. He was bigger than Hove, and like I say, X changed the whole landscape. Because '97, when they did Get At Me Dog, and they's clacking the Timbs and all that, they changed the whole landscape with Rough Riders Anthem. Because at the time, everybody was trying to do Puffy and Mace dancing in shiny suits, and Jay tried to do it with Sunshine, and it flopped when he did the joint with Foxy and Babyface, and it was awkward. Next thing you know, when X came out, Jay started going back to the street shit, street just watching, Hard Knock Life. X changed the whole landscape. That was a moment. Now what I don't want to see. I don't want to see Snoop play any records with Pharrell or Charlie Wilson or any of that, because that's a zone that he could tap into that X can't, because X don't have those kind of records. Even X's girl records, quote unquote, are street anthems. Like what these bitches want from a nigga featuring Cisco, that's a womanizer record. It was Keisha, Tawana, all that. That's not the you can't follow that up. You could play it and it's gonna bang, but it's not. And I know he's gonna play it, but he can't tap into that girl zone. Even the joint with Aaliyah, it was rugged, it was street. X, that's how it's going down with Faith. That's a joint about a thug niggas, falling for his side piece, and threatening her baby daddy. Like that's not a girl record. So as long as Snoop keep it in the streets and keep it gutter, I think it could be pretty dope. Now people say, who gonna win? Y'all killing me with this? It's not a battle. This shit is a concert. And once Swiss and Tim get some, when they organize this shit and they get a judge panel, okay, and they get a score sheet, then you could call it a battle. But until they get to that, it's just what it is, man. It's just good vibes. I don't like the fact that it's on a fucking Wednesday night, on random like 7:30 or some shit. I don't like that. I think that's kind of corny. And people have been cracking jokes about, oh, X is an X. If y'all want to look at X like a crackhead now, go ahead. But back then, X was that nigga. Now, the most crackhead thing X could do is if he didn't show up on time. And he came in there at like 9 o'clock or some shit like that, looking mad crazy. But I mean, put some respect on his name. Like I say, for niggas who got amnesia, y'all gonna learn. And that's one dope thing about this. A lot of young rap fans who don't know about these artists, or they see them differently because they've changed their whole image. They're gonna learn a lesson. They're gonna have to take notes, and they're gonna learn a lesson. They're gonna be like, oh shit, so and so catalog is pretty dope. Yeah, it is. Snoop might be known for doing shows with Martha Stewart now, but Snoop was dope back in the day. Yeah, Snoop was the face of Death Row until Tupac got there, and that's not bad. So, and X was that nigga. At one point, X was bigger than Jay Z. X was the biggest nigga in rap. Only rapper ever put out 2 platinum albums in 1 year. Nobody else could say that as far as I know. So I fuck with it. You know what I mean? It makes sense as far as stature and guys on the same level, icon status. So I'm fuck with it.